1 minute.
Okay, so I was very excited to see the serial number 9 down there in Boca Chica, and I saw serial number 8 launch. So what I'm going to do right now, I've got a split screen for you that has serial number 8 launch on the left side, and we have serial number 9 on the right side. Now, serial number 8 launched in December 9th, and serial number 9 here launched a couple of days ago here on February 2nd. And so what I've done is line the videos up so that they both launch at the same time, and we'll see them both launch. We're at about T-minus 20 seconds here, and you can see some venting from those tanks. These are two prototypes of the same rocket. They are methane powered with liquid oxygen, and let's watch them launch. You'll see a tiny spurt of venting right as they launch. You'll see spray just above the engines, and there they go, both launching. And they both seem to take off the pad. Of course, on the right side, you see serial number 9 took off, but serial number 10 is sitting waiting to actually launch as well. So, serial number 8 on the left, serial number 9 on the right. It seems like the first half of the flight is approximately the same flight profile. Of course, serial number 8 went to about 12.5 kilometers. Serial number 9 on the right went to about 10 kilometers. So what we'll see later is that serial number 9 will cut its flight just a little bit shorter. So it'll go to the belly flop maneuver slightly shorter and at an earlier time, and then it'll get to the ground at a slightly shorter time. So at about 1:15 here coming up, both of these rockets seem to turn off one of their motors, so this seems like a similar flight profile, and that should be happening in about 15 seconds here. Serial number 8 from December on the left, serial number 9 from February here a couple days ago on the right. And here we go, we're about to shut down one of the 3 motors. Serial number 9's feed does not show it, but serial number 8's feed does show it, and you'll see the other 2 engines gimbal around as it shuts off the one motor. So here we go at any second now. We'll turn off one of the motors. There we go. We shut down one motor at 1:42. The other 2 gimbal into position to continue propelling. I believe serial number 9 had the same thing and the same flight profile. Now we go with 2 engine power up to the up higher, and then we'll switch to 1 engine power to approach the apogee, and both hover at the apogee. So here we are at 2:10. We're both running. Both SN8 on the left and SN9 on the right are both running on 2 engine power, 2 Raptor engine power. These are methane and oxygen engines that this runs on. Currently on 2 out of 3 engines. Eventually these vehicles will have 3 vacuum optimized engines on the outer rim of that skirt, but right now they only have the 3 central sea level motors. And currently on 2 engine power, and in about 30 seconds we're going to go down to 1 engine. Serial number 8 on the left, serial number 9 on the right. And that's about 3 minutes into flight. And in just a minute here, we're going to see one more in. There's an engine shutdown. You see the engines gibble around. Now we're on 1 motor. And you can see some white clouds of other, it's not smoke, we're having some venting of some oxygen and those sorts of things. If you look closely on both vehicles, you can see a ring of white, and that is the frost on the outside of the rocket, and that is because those the methane tank and the oxygen tanks are cryogenic, and so they're both creating condensation on the outside of the rocket. So that's what the ring of white you see on both vehicles is. We're currently under 1 engine power on both sides. You'll see serial number 9 will transition to its belly flop slightly before serial number 8. So on the right side of your screen, we're about to transition to the belly flop, followed by a couple seconds later you'll see serial number 8 do the same thing because it went to a higher altitude. So its flight profile is slightly longer and slightly slower. And here we see some smoke on serial number 9. That's just venting of oxygen, and now you see it on serial number 8. Seems like the same flight profile, but again, here's serial number 9 now transitioning to the belly flop. They shut off all the motors, and now it's just going to fall with gravity. Now serial number 8 is doing the same thing. Flopping into the belly flop maneuver. They are now have both all their engines are off, and you can see serial number 8 kind of stayed nose up a little bit longer and then finally leveled out. Serial number 9 really went a lot more aggressively to nose down and then corrected to flat. Now they're both flat and they're just falling with air resistance, and they've got forward flaps and aft flaps that are adjusting to try to keep the vehicle level. There's some other views of the cameras pointing at those control surfaces. So they're both belly flopping back to the ground here. And you'll see serial number 9 will get to the ground first because it only went to a 10-kilometer altitude. Serial number 8, of course, went to a 12.5-kilometer altitude. So it will get back down first. Also, it transitioned to belly flop first. So, and here they go, about 45 more minutes, 45 more seconds on serial number 8. But you'll see serial number 9 transition pretty quickly, and they both ended up with very hard landing and destruction of the vehicle, but very similar flight profiles. As they get close to the ground, you can see serial number 9, you can see some streams of white venting, and that is the engine chill. So they're chilling the engines to try to fire up the engines, and here it's about to fire up the engines. Here it fires up one, and the other one does not seem to light properly, and it does a little bit of an exaggerated belly flop maneuver and impact with the ground. You can see serial number 8 is still going, and you can see the venting for the engine chilling. And again, it seems to light both engines and then gimbal them a little bit right there. It looks like you have an engine failure and you are burning up an engine. And again, did not have enough thrust to have a soft landing. They both had impact with the ground. Apparently a very successful flight until that last maneuver of the flip to vertical maneuver. But it's very interesting to watch these side by side. So, I think that's about it. I look forward to seeing serial number 10. Maybe I'll make one with all three to compare the serial number 10 when it launches. I look forward to that very soon. Thanks for watching.